Hi, sophomores. So this is a quick video on sentences and fragments with subordinating conjunctions. So the acronym is SWABIs. So a subordinating conjunction joins two thoughts in one sentence. That's what a conjunction does. But for a subordinating conjunction, it means that one clause is less important than the other clause. So we remember subordinating conjunctions with the acronym SWABI: since, when, after, because, if. But there are a lot more than that. You can click this list to see a whole list of them. But basically, any word that joins two thoughts, but means that one is less important than the other. So here are two examples. Because my dog barks whenever someone comes into the house, I need to reassure friends that she's not dangerous. So in this case, because is the SWABI, the subordinating conjunction, and this first clause is the subordinate clause. So that's like less important than the main clause. It's just this kind of extra information. Okay, so because this is coming at the beginning, we have to use a comma here to separate the two clauses. Okay, but that rule changes when you put the subordinate clause at the end. So if we flip the sentence, I need to reassure friends that my dog's not dangerous because she barks whenever someone comes into the house. So in this case, the because does not need a comma with it because the subordinate clause comes at the end of the sentence. So that's kind of the main thing you have to remember for subordinate conjunctions. So let's do a practice. Remember that when you click into this, you can see lessons. So more specific lessons, sentences, examples in these purple boxes. Make sure you use those. The other thing to remember for this unit is that this checkpoint is a way of doing all the skills at once. If you get through this checkpoint, you'll pass out of all of these things. So if you know these pretty well and you just need a review, just start with the checkpoint. Otherwise, you'll want to go through them more specifically to get better practice. Since I was bored, I asked Nellie to tell me a funny story. So we have our subject and verb. We also have the subject and verb here. This whole thing makes sense. So that's a complete sentence. Since I asked Max Mayfield whether she could come to the zoo, what, right? So we have our SWABI, since. We have a subject and a verb, I asked. But in this case, the clause doesn't continue. We don't know what happened since you asked him to come to, or she to come to the zoo. So that's a fragment. Stephen King climbed a tree to rescue a kitten. After he came back down, the fireman gave him a high five. So both of these have subject and verbs and are complete ideas. So here's another one. Tomorrow, Mark Twain and I will work on our project until I have to go to my friend's birthday dinner. So we have our SWABI, until, we have our subordinate clause, but it's not connected. So this sentence on its own, until I have to go to my friend's birthday dinner, what, right? That's a fragment. Now for this one, we have the word unless again, right? So Will Byers has an interview tomorrow morning. Unless he oversleeps, he should get the job. So don't be tricked by this. Here we have unless he oversleeps. So that is our subordinate clause. We have our SWABI, unless, subject verb, he oversleeps. And then we have our main clause, he should get the job. But together it makes sense. That's still a complete sentence. I think this is the last one I'll need to show you, but sometimes NoRedInk is going to give you long fragments, so just watch out for that. So after the rain stopped, an Astrid young Tio jumped in a puddle. So this looks really long, but it's not a whole thought, right? We have our SWABI after, and we don't have any clauses connecting to. Okay, so on its own, this is a fragment. All right, so those are the main things that you have to know for that. Basically, is it a complete clause, or is it a fragment, or is it a full thought? So you just have to watch out for, whether the subordinate clause is actually connected to the independent clause. Okay. As always, please reach out to me if you have questions. come see me during office hours. Don't just click forever because that will be frustrating for everyone. Right? Thank you.